Welcome to 30 Minutes with the Town Crier, co-hosted by Al Holman and Kevin Rudden. We hope to inform the community of things going on and interview a lot of fun people and neat people.
Our first guest is Fire Chief William Touhey, who became Milford's new fire chief in the last week of May, succeeding his younger brother, John, who is now retired. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you.
Anything major occur in your first week on the job?
No, it was a nice, quiet week to get used to the new office.
What's going to be different for you in the new role as chief?
A lot more meetings, a lot more paperwork, less being out on the street with the guys, but it should be an interesting change.
You're gonna miss being on the truck.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You think you'll ride on the truck once in a while?
Possibly.
Possibly, yeah.
It's a young man's job.
Well, you're a young man.
Yeah, getting older though.
Well, hey, you know, that happens with time.
Yes, comes with the territory.
What is the one thing you're looking forward to?
I don't know. Probably bringing the large group of young recruits that we have, kind of bringing them on and showing them how we do it, what it's like to be a Milford firefighter. You know, the proper way to treat the public, to handle certain calls, get them street smart so they're safe, so they can protect themselves. And
How many new officers do you have?
we've hired 8 in the last 7 months.
Wow. All from the academy?
Well, there's a backlog at the academy right now, but they'll all be attending the academy and as soon as we can get them in there.
As soon as you can get them in, okay. Do you have any training facilities here in town that you use?
We have our training tower in the rear of the Burr Street Fire Station. Actually, they're doing their first, the last group of recruits we brought on, 4 that have, this is their 4th week, and they're doing their first live burns in the tower this week. And we set up small scenarios. They get to, experience pulling a hose line through the building, 0 visibility, some heat. It doesn't get real hot in there because we're only burning straw. But they'll burn today and they'll burn tomorrow, and Thursday they're burning with Framingham. Framingham's bringing over. They're in the same situation we are. We have recruits that we need to get on shift, but we can't get them into the academy, so we have to train them ourselves. They'll be on shift for a few months, and then they'll get their chance to go to the academy.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of on-the-job training.
Unfortunately, we don't like to do it that way. Ideally, your first day at work as a Milford firefighter is at the Massachusetts Fire Academy. That's
the first choice.
That's the way we'd like to do it, but there's a backlog of several months now.
Several months?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Is that because there's a shortage of qualified firefighters?
No, it's just because there's so many places hiring right now that there's a large turnover of the age group I came on. So now we're hiring more and more firefighters statewide, and they all have to get through there, so there's a backlog.
Yeah.
What's the percentage of the department that's new?
Oh, roughly a quarter.
That's
Quarter of
a
the
big
department.
number.
It is for a small town.
Right. Most of the calls you have are actually medical calls, or not fire-related.
Yeah, roughly 2/3 of medicals.
And what's the percentage of the department that are EMTs? Is everyone an EMT?
Everyone except for some of the new ones that just came on, but yes, everyone is an EMT.
That's a requirement for?
No,
It's
not a requirement, but it's where we're doing such a large volume of medical calls. It's prudent to get some medical training. We've also got 4 paramedics.
Oh, wow.
On the department now.
And then you use community ambulance as a backup?
Yes. Well, they do the transport. We just treat. And community, the town has a contract with community to supply the ALS transports to the hospital. So They have 2 ALS ambulances on duty 24/7 at our disposal. So.
In different spots in town, probably.
They work out of the garage on
okay.
Depot Street.
On Depot, okay,
Yep.
okay. Any changes short-term that you can think of?
No, I don't think so. I think the ship is sailing straight and steady now, and I'd kind of like to keep it that way for a while.
Don't
But
mess with the clock that's working.
that's right.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
You were the deputy chief for, what, 14 years?
13 years.
So your job now is to name a new deputy. How's that process going to work?
They take a state exam, a civil service exam, for the deputy chief's position, and the marks, will be out shortly. And at that point, once the list gets finalized by the state, after there's any appeals that go on, not from Milford, but I mean statewide, the lists are all certified, the marks are published, and at that point, I could request the list and make an appointment.
Is that your appointment or the Board of
Yes,
Selectmen?
it's my
It's your
appointment.
appointment. Okay, is your goal to appoint from within?
Yes. The appointments would be from within. It's not open outside.
Well, that's great.
Okay, and then there'll be an opening probably for a lieutenant then?
Yeah, there was 2
And you go
lieutenants
through
who
the same
took the
thing.
exam, so there will be, one of them's going to move up, and there will be an opening at the lieutenant's position.
Does the lieutenant's position have to take an exam also?
Yes, they took their exam in November, and the marks were out, I believe, a month ago.
Okay.
So there is an established list for lieutenant that I could pick from once the opening occurs.
Okay, now, your father was a call firefighter?
He was.
You and your brother are firefighters. Your son is now in the department. This is evidently a family tradition.
It seems to be getting that way, yes. Yes.
A family full of smoke eaters.
Yeah.
Wow.
Matthew started in October,
Oh,
mid-October he came on.
Has he been through the academy yet?
He has not. He'll be going in September. We have 5 going September 2nd.
And how long is the academy?
That's a long wait.
It's 9 weeks now. It was 12, and they reduced it somewhat to try and eliminate the backlog. So they run 3 classes concurrently in there, so it's a busy place.
Okay. Do you have any goals for your, now that you're chief? Things you'd like to do differently? I know you said you'd like it to stay the same, but are any things that you'd like to put an emphasis on going forward?
Yeah, well, I think we're going to have to expand in the inspections department just because of the sheer volume of work coming through, especially now with, the construction. We got the major project coming on board with the hospital. That's going to be a long, drawn-out thing, and there's always just the residential, the daily inspections.
I don't think people
to get
realize,
done.
but every time a home is built or sold, you have to inspect it.
Yes. Prior to the passing of papers, it's required that it be inspected for smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors.
And then you have to do boiler inspections and that kind of
Yep.
stuff.
All the oil burners
All
have
the
to be
right,
inspected,
right.
and then all your the Blair House,
Right.
all of the assisted living facilities have to be inspected quarterly. The hospital has to be inspected. There's
Right.
there's
Yeah.
a lot more stuff out there that could be done, but we just don't have the manpower to do it.
So you're going to start increasing that?
We
Try
hope to.
Well, that's
We
good.
hope
That's
to.
a good thing.
Okay, one last question for you, Chief. I often hear the comment that when an alarm is sounded, you send out several pieces of equipment. Why is that?
Well, most of the people don't realize that there's a lot of those trucks only have 1 or 2 people on them. So if you go to an incident, a car accident, and you've got several patients, plus you have leaking fluids, you need some manpower there to A, assist the patients, B, to deal with any dangers that are on scene. So you have to bring as many trucks as you need, which will be usually 2 or 3 trucks.
There's a minimum that when you call out, and then when you get to, whoever gets in scene makes a decision on whether you bring more trucks. Right.
Yeah, the
more
dispatches have standard assignments that they'll dispatch for. A motor vehicle accident is the rescue truck and 1 engine. A structure fire would be the rescue truck, 2 engines, and the ladder truck.
And then scene command figures out exactly
Right,
what's...
and if they need more,
Right.
if it's a structure fire and they need additional manpower, they'll strike a box and bring in off-duty personnel. They can bring in mutual aid. So it's all set up to flow.
So car 1, car 2 shows up, becomes a scene commander, and then determines exactly what has to be done.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, we'll have to listen to scanners to see if you're still going to join the trucks.
Oh yeah, someday I'll be on there.
Okay. Chief, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
you.
Thanks for coming on.
No problem.
Our next guest is Jennifer Demanche-Yohn, who is the manager of the Milford Farmers Market. And Jennifer, as we know, that debuted last year in the Town Hall parking lot to great success. And this year you're on the campus of the Milford Water Company on Dilla Street, beginning the second weekend in June.
That's right.
And running until?
October 4th.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Now, how many farmers are involved?
We have 4 farmers and 15 total vendors.
Oh, wow.
We don't have everybody there the same week. We do. All of our farmers will be there every week, except for one of them who won't start till July. So we're going to start with 3 farms, and then we'll move up to 4 in July.
So we'll have the same as last year, fresh vegetables, some pastry, honey,
We will.
a few other things.
We're gonna have the honey. We're gonna have everything jalapeno and nut, which does the preserved pickles and the great beets. We're gonna have Eric's Sharpened Edge, which is the knife sharpening service. We're gonna have an alpaca vendor who is gonna be with us, which is just
Wow, that's
They're
interesting.
selling the wool?
yes, they're gonna be selling the wool, and we're working on seeing whether or not we can get an actual alpaca out to visit with
Is that
us.
the folks from Grafton?
No, well, yeah, actually it is the ones from Grafton. Everybody always asks me if they're the ones from Milford, but
Okay.
Many Feet Farm. We're gonna have our honey vendor, and we just today got a new vendor who's gonna do chair massage.
Ooh.
We had a couple places, so.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's really great. We've got a lot of,
Okay.
there's a lot of.
Now, why the change from, was it from the town hall to Dilla Street? Was it the parking lot being paved?
Yes, well, that was part of it. It was in full sun, it was paved. It's gonna get super, super hot in July, which just damages way too much product, and it makes
Right.
it really uncomfortable for people to walk around in 90-degree heat.
Okay.
You know.
So the water company, the people should park in front of their building?
We have parking in front, on a little bit on the side, and then there's a back lot as well. And it's also attached to the Upper Charles Trail, so you can actually park at Louisa Lake or Pheno Field,
right.
or
So,
85 up in Holliston Hopkinton line, where
Right.
and you can walk or bike down to the market.
Okay, is the actual market itself behind the water company building or
It's
behind
on-
the new treatment plant?
It's on the side of the water company building, and it curves kind of around the new chlorine chambers. So you're going to be able to see us from the road.
From the road.
And then we're going to kind of
Okay.
curve around depending on how much.
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
That's great.
Do you anticipate any problems with Dilla Street traffic on a Saturday morning?
Oh, yes, we do. We worked with the chief of police as well as Lieutenant Falvey to try to avoid as much as we can. We're going to be getting some signs as well as encouraging people to take rights out of the parking lot if at all possible, coming down Cedar and turning left onto Dilla to turn right into the parking lot as well. So you're not trying to turn a left across Dilla Street.
Right.
But we're going to do everything we can.
Have you thought about traffic, an officer to direct traffic?
We have.
Okay.
That's been, we're trying to see what we can do about that because there is a certain amount of money that we're.
Right, there's a cost. that
You
goes
are a
with it.
Yeah,
nonprofit group, so.
We're working on being nonprofit, and unfortunately, our budget doesn't really cover that. But we're
Okay.
working on it. They're trying to see whether or not it's possible to get an auxiliary officer up there as well. So
Okay.
we're gonna.
Now, a lot of people have asked what sounds like a common sense question, but runs into town bylaws, which is, why aren't you just at one of the school parking lots? Or school lawns, like Brookside is the one I most often hear, or why aren't you up at
High school.
the town park? And so the answer is
Zoning.
zoning says you're commercial.
Zoning says that we are commercial, and all of the town parks, school buildings, municipal lots are actually zoned residential.
But both Pat Kennelly of the planning
interesting.
board
Interesting.
and at least Brian Murray and Bill Buckley as selectmen have openly said at meetings, let's get this fixed for your third year.
Correct.
So that needs a bylaw change.
Yes, it does. I talked to Mr. Villani in the Selectman's office last week, and it is being worked on. We've volunteered to help as much as we can. So hopefully,
You'll have a permanent home in your third
we
year.
will have a permanent home come next May, hopefully.
That's good.
I'm crossing my fingers we can get something on the books for town meeting in the normal special town meeting in October.
That would be great. Now, I actually came to, I'd say, at least 3/4 of the the weekends last year and was an active buyer.
Yay.
And look forward to it because it's a great place to get fresh fruits, vegetables, honey, pastry,
It's everything.
bread,
Everything you can.
jelly.
Yeah, it's basically everything you go to the grocery store except your paper products, and even some of those.
Really? Oh, that's great.
Last year we did have Sell It on Green, and they sold cleaning products and bath products.
Right, we don't have anything like fresh milk or anything like that that would
We're going to
require-
have eggs this year.
Oh, wow.
And we've actually been working to try to get milk, cheese, and meat available. So
So you need refrigeration and all that.
there is this, you do need refrigeration. There is power at the water company, which was part of what we were really looking for because there was
Right.
no power at Town Hall. So we're hoping that that can bring people to us, where last year it was a deterrent.
But-
And everybody, all the vendors are registered with the Board of Health and certified by them as
Correct.
providing good, clean,
Yes.
properly cooked
Correct. Everything
and
is.
served food.
Yes, every food vendor and non-food vendor is permitted by the Board of Health. There are different regulations, but there's nothing coming out of Aunt Mary's kitchen that hasn't been inspected, so you can feel confident that you're getting
Well,
something.
And they'll have an inspection on site too. I
Yeah,
would guess.
if we did have something that's refrigerated,
Right.
there would be an inspection. We're also responsible for maintaining safety standards.
Right.
But
Right.
they've been through
I
it.
think most people don't even realize that if you're buying somebody's homemade brownies or chocolate at one of these events, that actually has to be prepared in a kitchen that was certified and inspected by
By
a
the
Board of Health.
right.
somewhere,
Correct. If it's not our Board of Health, it's the Medway Board of Health, it's the Millis Board of
Where
Health.
they're located.
Correct. So there's multiple agencies, and they all have to comply with food safe and safe serve and all that.
Right,
other. So
right.
it's,
I was just going to say that everybody will be safe served,
I believe,
certified
I believe everybody is safe. So I believe that's
They're
part of the
required
requirement. Yep.
to get a license, right?
So
Yep.
David Morganelli was sort of the catalyst for this last year,
He was.
surrounded by you guys, and you
Yep.
guys have taken the ball forward,
Yeah,
and you formed a corporation
we did.
to make it more permanent,
Legal and permanent.
and this will be the second year, and you hope to go on for as long as you can.
We want to keep going as far, as fast, and as big as we can.
Okay, now you have different themes every weekend this year?
We do pretty much every weekend. We have a Strawberry Festival coming up in June. We have an Apple and Oktoberfest coming up at the end of October. We have a Safety Day with the Milford Police Department and hopefully the Milford Fire Department. We have a Government Day where we're hoping the selectmen will come out and join us and maybe talk to their constituents. Maybe, we have a lot of really great things. This weekend, our very first opening weekend, we're going to have a dance troupe with us. They're going to come out, show them moves, try to get some people out and actually learn. So if you're there, Kevin, I expect to see you line dancing with them.
Unfortunately, I'm out of state for the first one. I'm back for the second one, and they're on. But,
Oh, well, the second one we have, we partnered with a group in Milford. We're going to be running mini book clubs every other weekend for the kids. We've got a flutist this week. We've got music going. It's going to be a really great event every
wow.
week.
And when do you expect to be finalize your nonprofit status?
When the IRS says that we can.
So you
It
filed
takes-
the papers. It's just a case of
It takes at least a year to finalize, and that's if there are no issues with what we
Interesting.
submitted.
interesting.
501c3 status is not necessarily easy to obtain.
No, I understand.
Understandably, we don't want everybody doing it. So, but hopefully within a year. So by November of April of next year.
Good. That's a good thing.
long haul.
It's great
And why should people come?
because we're awesome. It's a great event. I mean,
Oh, that's a good answer. We're
It is-
awesome.
We're awesome. It's a great event that not only puts people in touch with produce and small businesses that need their business, that they can't get into Stop and Shop. This is their livelihood. Not only are you getting great quality stuff from people that are next door to you that you probably never knew about, but it's a community event. You're going to run into your neighbors, people you haven't seen since high school. You're going to have conversations that make you laugh, and it's part of what Milford really needs, we think.
It's a shop local event.
It is.
Shop local.
Shop local 100%.
Percent. And what you do is you get to support local businesses where you're doing business. You're buying food or products from somebody who is a next door neighbor.
Yeah.
Someone who kids go to school with your kids.
Yep.
I mean, it's a great way to support support the rural community and farmers in general locally.
We posted just yesterday, the USDA actually sent out an infographic, is that when you buy something at a grocery store, your local farmer gets 17.4 cents of every dollar. If you're shopping in our market, the farmer is getting every penny of your dollar. And that makes a difference because that goes right back into your local economy because they're going to go out and shop at another local business. So, and for every person that shops at the market, it's statistically said that they spend anywhere between $6 and $8 in the community. So not only is it great for your local businesses that are at the market, but it's great for your businesses in your community and the surrounding ones.
And I was also going to say, not putting down supermarket fare, but instead of the packaged and preserved look, you get fresh, healthy, good for you to eat fruit and vegetables.
Exactly.
Well, it doesn't have to be picked early, so it ripens in the truck or on the stand in the store. When you buy from at a farmer's market, it's stuff that's ripe when it's picked. So it's picked ripe.
Yeah, without naming the store, I took home a package of strawberries recently, washed them, bit into one, and found out the center was still frozen.
Yeah, that's
kind of annoying when you think about it, that not that fresh taste.
There's a definite, if you've ever tasted the difference between a hothouse tomato and a tomato from our market, or your own garden for that matter, you can taste the difference. It's there. These aren't forced. They're not grown in a greenhouse with no sun. Or, this is right next door. It's right there. You could walk into the field and pick it. And most of our farmers will tell you can come and visit them, and you could probably even get away with doing that.
I mean, one of the things that always makes summer to me is going out and getting that fresh picked corn on the cob and being able to, take it right home within, hours of it being picked and shuck it and cook it right away.
Yeah, half the time when you get it from a farm stand, you don't even have to cook it because you can just take a bite out of it, and it's just so sweet.
Yeah, sweet corn.
It's miles different.
And tomatoes the same thing.
Yeah.
Tomatoes the same thing. Yeah. Tomatoes, a picked ripe tomato is so much different than when it comes from
cucumbers. They're great.
Okay, Jen, what hours are you open?
We're open from 9 to 1 every Saturday, rain or shine.
From June 8th?
7th
till
October 4th.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long season.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yes, it is. When we start getting a little punchy towards the end, I hope everyone will forgive us.
So you're going from the start of the fresh fruit and vegetable season to the cider and pumpkin time.
Exactly. That's why we're having a fall fest. You're going to come out and have some apple strudel and apple crisp that a couple of our vendors are going to bake up special for us.
What made you start this?
David had the idea. David Morganelli had the idea. And as soon as he did, it was like, oh, you have to do it. This is just... How are we, Milford, not getting in on this one?
Well, Hopkinton has one, Grafton has one.
Ashland.
Ashland, a lot of towns in the area have one, especially if you drive down the Route 135 corridor, you see them. It's surprising that Milford didn't have this before.
It's surprising, especially because we have so many farms that you don't know about. Like, they're hidden.
I was going to say, you don't think of Milford as a farm community.
We're not. There's actually no farm from Milford. But they're all around us, Millis, Medway, Bellingham, Franklin. But even driving through these towns, you'd never know driving through the center of town that behind that power line on the other side of that property is 9 acres that are growing corn.
Right.
Right. You'd never think to drive down some random side street. So
it gives those local farmers a marketplace to sell their goods without having to go through a bunch of strain and pain. And it's a great way to buy produce and buy anything. I mean, because you're literally talking to the person who either made it, grew it,
or cooked it.
And
most of the time they've gotten them all together. So they might, those pickles and beets that you got, they might still have come from the farm. So and these are grandma recipes. These aren't, the recipes that people are using to make some of these products are recipes that are 100 years old that you can't find in a book. You're never going to get to taste unless you buy a jar of pickles.
It doesn't have all the preservatives and all that stuff in it, that's really natural ingredients, which makes it a whole 100% better.
So let's see, if you need your knives sharpened.
Yep.
You want fresh honey.
Absolutely. Great
fruits,
for allergies.
Vegetables.
Alpacas.
Some baked goods.
Oh, absolutely.
And learn how to dance.
You learn how to dance. Learn how to read.
Book clubs. What else we have?
We got Strawberry Fest. We got Safety Day, Helmet Day. They got all. Everything we have, we're going to have an event calendar online on our website. So
What's the website?
Milford mafarmersmarket.wordpress.com, or you can find us on Facebook at Milford MA Farmers Market,
Oh, wow.
because there's too many Milfords in the United States to just do Milford Farmers Market.
We don't want them going down to Milford, Connecticut. for
Or
the farmers
Ohio,
market.
for that matter.
That'd be a long commute.
That'd be a long ride, yeah.
Vegetables probably
And
would get a
you
little
want
wilted.
everybody to come back every weekend.
Of course I do. I want everybody
Every
there
Saturday.
every Saturday, every weekend, because you know what? There's going to be something new every weekend. There's going to be, some of our vendors are only there every other week. So if you come one week, you don't come the next, you may miss something. But that's why you got to check out our Facebook, check out our website that way, because you'll be always up to date. We're going to list everything that's going on for that weekend.
And all the vendors that are going to be there.
We're going to list all our vendors,
Great.
any events. So
Oh, that's great. Great.
as of tomorrow, it'll be all our special surprise vendors will be up there.
Oh, wow.
Surprise vendors.
We have to keep something under
Oh,
our
well, there you go. Surprise vendors, that's right.
Just bring back the lady who sold the peach pies last year.
Oh,
Oh, that wasn't a question. There was no question in that one.
oh, peach.
Peach pies and Z-breads. I'm telling you.
I love peach pies, and this woman had fresh peach pies.
Oh, really?
Or cobbler. Every week I would go back and
Sweet
feed
treat.
my...
Linda and her sweet treats will be back with
Oh,
us
great.
starting the first week, as will Julie's Z-breads. And those are my two,
Favorites.
well, no, not my favorites, but those are my two,
Yeah.
but they're still so good.
Yes, a peach tart week, a peach cobbler. We fed that.
Double chocolate chip zucchini bread.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, you can't miss.
Wow.
It's great.
It'll be great to be there.
It will be. So hopefully we'll see everybody down there. That's really...
Okay, and will you come back again during the summer and keep us posted on how things are going?
Absolutely, and maybe by then I'll have something to bring you as a treat.
I think a nice peach pie would be great next
You
time.
don't want the corn instead?
No, I
Oh, okay.
corn, that's okay.
Well, you know, the selectmen always joke that, you know,
Nobody ever brings
new
anything.
restaurants come to them all the time for the license and never bring the food. So maybe this time we can bring in some of the food and display it.
Yeah.
Well, we contemplated when we went in front of the selectmen doing that, and I said, I think we might get in a little bit of trouble.
Not really.
Yeah.
Probably not.
They've all got a good sense of humor.
But I can bribe you, that's all right.
Yeah, oh, a peach pie,
Peach
you
pies,
can be
we're all
surprised.
good, yeah.
Be surprised what a peach pie will achieve.
I can even bring two.
A two would be
You'll
even better.
probably laugh, but as a Boy Scout leader, I always carry a spork in my car, so we could just go out and get a spork and share it.
We'll have to make sure we bring some ice cream too, so 'cause you gotta have the,
Ooh, if it's homemade ice cream, you know, that's it.
we can make this happen.
Yeah.
Have you thought of getting one of the dairy farms from like Uxbridge and Northbridge that sells fresh ice cream to come in?
That is one of them, or we've talked to a couple. It's a little harder for them.
Tough
need
to
a
keep
freezer
the ice
and,
cream.
The milk and the cheese is kind of
Tough.
is tough, and so if you're bringing one, it's kind of hard to bring another because you need a refrigerator and a freezer in there, right? So
Right.
we're working on it, working on that, working on meat, fish, you know, that kind of stuff.
Well,
Wow.
you do have the, I can't think of his name, but the guy who sells fish out of his truck all the time.
Angelo. How
Right.
can you not know Angelo? We love Angelo. We've been trying to track Angelo down.
Ooh.
And Angelo, all his stuff is certified by boards of health. So.
It is. He just it was only a year and a half ago that he got recertified by the state and the town. So
Right, so it'd be good to have fresh fish.
it is. We're trying. He's very hard to find on Thursday. You go all his little hiding places. He's already gone. But we're gonna track him down. We're gonna ask him, see if he'll come by and stop by on Saturday mornings.
Okay, anything else you'd like to tell people about the farmer's market?
Come on down, visit us. Come and see all our vegetables and our produce and our
Stuff.
small businesses. It's a great day.
Okay, so it's Saturdays, 9 to 1,
9 to 1.
at the Milford Water Company on Dilla Street from the second week of June right through to mid-October?
First weekend of October.
First
October
weekend
4th.
of October,
So
Wow.
you have to come visit us, and then you can go to Hopedale Fest.
in October.
Yep, because we're
Oktoberfest,
So,
yeah.
so you have to come to us first, and then you can go over there. That's what we're.
There you go.
Always Milford first.
Always Milford first.
There you go.
At least for today, right?
There you go.
Right.
That's it.
Thanks very much, Jen.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Thank you.